Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Etheria restart video, and today I wanted to show off my Hell 4 Auto Doki team. In fact, this team just did a whole run without taking one loss, and it's a weird team because I don't have RILMOCHA, I don't have LILLY. I had to get pretty creative with this to make it work. So I'm going to hit continuous battle. We're going to go ahead and do another energy refresh here. Boom, and we're gonna jump in. So this team focuses around two characters to carry the team. My two DPS characters that I'm using are Gray, who actually isn't even, I don't have his skill 1 maxed. Once I max his skill 1, this run will be even cleaner than it is now, but for now I just haven't had the resources. I haven't farmed it out. I'm out of purple lattices, so he's sitting on max skill 2, max skill 3. The key there is by maxing these two skills, they go to 3-turn cooldown, so he's just spamming them all the time, and he's spamming them in conjunction with the count shell. This gives him 1200 attack for 2 turns when it procs, and gives him life leech. As an SR character, as a non-6-star character on the team, if he gets picked on a little bit, he'll take some damage. Without a dedicated healer in this group, this allows him to heal himself up. The thing with Doki is you just want shields. Like, shields is the way to go in Doki, especially as you're preparing to move into Inferno, where the you have to have shields to beat that fight, I think. Okay, my other carry here is Silence. And this is a, here, let me take my camera off screen. This is a DPS build Silence. So you can see Onslaught and, what's the other one here? Onslaught Momentum. So I'm getting the boosted crit rate from Momentum. The shell, I don't quite have the full build out here, but I'm making sure that I'm getting the 12 from the Onslaught for the 45% attack, because her damage scales off of attack with the percent HP damage. So if you haven't seen Revelation yet, before the owner takes action every 3 turns, and that's the key, enables each crit by the owner in this turn to deal additional indirect real damage equal to 12% of the target's max HP. That real damage surpasses the damage reduction of these mobs. That's a big deal. Now, the total damage dealt cannot exceed 180% of her attack. So that's why she's so juiced up on attack, because I need her doing as close to max real damage as I can, and to get her where she needs to be. Like, this isn't a cheap build. And let me put my face back on the screen. I've seen a lot of pushback against this build. Guys, this build is like, requires an investment on most characters in the game, or requires you to build Chiata like just for this build. I had to max a skill 3 on Silence to make this build work. And yeah, here we are, because maxing her skill 3 makes the cooldown 3 turns. So now every 3 turns, her shell procs, she does her skill 3. It's a 4-hit attack, taking full advantage of that max, that max HP damage that this thing does. So those are my 2 carries. For supports, I'm using my Mio, I'm using Kazuyo the Reverie, and Freya. So I'm actually bringing 2 crowd control characters. I think if I had more damage, I could get away with only using 1 crowd control character, but there we go. And then I'm having Freya here as a, provide a little bit of heal with her skill 3, the defense buff, the increased damage. You could replace Freya in this group, I think, with another DPS and still be fine. Notice that I'm running 2 of these shells though. I'm running 2 artisans. Those shields, you got to have those shields, man. If you're not bringing healers, you got to be shielding. And that's the other thing that Silence brings to this fight, is every time she skill 3s, which is, or every time she does anything, she does provide her passive Aqua Shield to the team, which is 10% of her HP, only absorbs half that damage, but reflects some of it back to the enemy. Okay, let's watch this run. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Can I slow it down? Nope. So we're going to watch it in 3x. So I lead with the pushback right there into Freya. It's very important that Freya goes before Kazuyo goes, because she's going to put the sleep on everybody. Now Gray gets to unload on sleeping enemies, so he does that bonus damage. Then Silence, this will often wipe the whole wave with Silence's attack. There you go. That's the combo. Now, it's not always the best thing in the world to full clear the mobs with your first combo. You can see this fight could be the worst case scenario where that main mob doesn't get crowd controlled. And indeed, I had 3 chances to crowd control that mob. All 3 missed. there is still a random factor to even the most well-built teams. So now here we go. We're going to push back. This is the power of the like fully built out Mio. Gray's going to do an auto attack right here. We haven't crowd controlled the main guy yet, so I really don't want to be unloading my damage unless it's there we go. We finally landed some crowd control on him. So Lince is through all of her cooldowns, and here we go. Now we get a chance to start actually doing some damage. We're going to need to wipe this out. There's Gray. Here's Freya. She's going to cast her skill 3. Notice Kaz getting pretty low, but the shield kind of picking her up. And with Freya doing her skill 3, now our damage is going to heal us a little bit. Okay, everybody's low. They're either asleep or frozen. Selence will pop her shell. This will sometimes kill a few of them, but not always. And if it doesn't kill any, that's like the one opportunity we have to lose this fight. But we're shielded up. We've got our defense online. We probably still will win, especially because Gray, he was off cooldown. Okay, we sleep the main guy. That's a big deal. Selence is probably going to wake him up, which isn't great. Okay, we lost Kaz. Here we go. Do we get him? Freya's going to go. This is going to be like the one fight I lose out of a million. We're going to try to push them all back. Gray's going to get a like pentakill right here. Boom. Here it is, Gray. Take him down. Okay, 2 left. 2 left. Here we go. We're gonna get some shields up. You can see how clutch those shields coming in over and over again are. If we can just get back to Selence, we win. So if Selence ever gets 2 rotations in a fight, it's just GG. So let's see. Is she back up yet? I think she might still be 1 turn away. Gray's gonna kill the main guy. There, Selence was up. So that's the fight. That was almost like a worst case scenario run for this team. And then the drops were worst case scenario, like getting only 2 matrix effects. Getting a double drop with 2 matrix effects sucks. So anyway, that's my team. Now, when I'm planning for Inferno, let me go over that real quick because Inferno's on the table for me here. The problem with Inferno is this. When the mobs hit you, they have this extra mechanic in Inferno where you lose permanently 35% of your 35% max HP of the damage they dealt. Let me say that a different way. I'm going to simplify it. If they hit you for 100, you lose 35 max HP, which that wouldn't be a big deal. But these guys don't hit for 100. They hit for like thousands and thousands of damage. So they're constantly knocking your max HP down. The way to get around that is push their turn back until your shielding characters are online. So until Selence is providing some shields, until your support characters carrying Artisan are providing some shields. You need to crowd control these mobs until you're getting your shields up. My speed just isn't there yet. I talked about this in my gear review video. I think I'm going to need my Mio at least to be like 280 speed. She's 277. I just need to level up another piece of gear with some speed on it and get her rolling. Then I think I can tackle Inferno Doki Doki consistently. I might be able to manual it right now, but it would be so inconsistent and I'd have to restart so many times. It'd be a little bit of a waste of my time and energy. So that's my Doki Doki team. I don't think many people are doing it the way I am. I think way more people, we'll look at Hell 4 again, are leaning into like a boost the RILMOCHA with your whole team build. I can't build any of these clear, like all of the fast clears, all these like 30-second, 40-second ones are either using LILLY or RILMOCHA or both. And I just don't have those units. I just don't. So I'm never going to be able to do that with my account, but at least I can come in here with my weird characters and make it work. Big props to this person right here, Domondo, doing the Tiamat strat. Like the Tiamat strat can get you home. And in fact, the Tiamat strat, if you've not ever seen it before, watch like Vulcan's videos on it. He's the Tiamat expert of the content creators, I would say. It's slower, but it can clear Inferno, or on manual at least. He can do it on manual. All right, y'all. That's my Doki Doki video. I will face on screen. There it is. I'll do one for my Terramaton team as well. It's a little bit more straightforward, and I don't have the setup for it today. Like I'm farming Doki today, so I'll do Terramaton the day I'm farming Terramaton again. That's it, y'all. Hey, thank you all for the subs on my last video. We hit that 30,000 mark, so excellent. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good night. Peace.